Alright, hello everyone. Hope you wanted to watch some Shiren.
Hello, Yogi the Monk here, and with me I have my translator, lag.com. This is Shiren the Wonder. It's a roguelike on the Super Famicom, and it has all the major qualities of a roguelike. It's turn-based, tile-based, procedural generation of the rooms, permadeath, resource management, they're going pretty quick here. But yeah, every floor on Shiren, you'll have the same enemies. So here on floor 4 for Karo-san, which he's already through, you'll always get the same enemies. Karo is now going into the shop. They're going so fast that there's no time to commentate any of the floor.
Yeah, I'm afraid Giga has already had 2 deaths, so they're a little bit behind.
This shop on the left for Karo-san is 4 fixed items on the right side of the shop, and he stole all of the items that he wanted. But the 4 fixed items on the right are Dragon Herb, Identify Scroll, Knockback Staff, and a big rice ball, and then what other random items from the 6 on the left that he wanted to grab as well. And all he has to do is use that fixed knockback staff to get rid of the guard so that he can just steal everything. It looks like they're both going for 0 gold strats at the start of the run, because here on floors 5 and 6, we have these Kimen Mushas, that green samurai, and he killed the Kimen Musha and this ghost popped out, and this ghost is just wandering around. He's looking for an enemy to possess, and it looks like the ghost possessed another Kimen Musha. Enemies in Shiren have ranks, and so that purple Kimen Musha is now like rank 2, or like level 2, while the green one is level 1. And the higher level ones are worth more experience, and they hit harder and whatnot. And if you rank them up too much, they'll one-shot you. Lag, are you seeing any important items that they're grabbing?
Well, I've seen a couple of storage pots, so always useful.
I believe Giga just found a blank scroll. I think I saw a blank scroll. There's an Otagiri So for Karo. It's a healing item, healing herb that heals 100 health, or if you're already max health, it'll give you +2 to your max health. But blank scroll is pretty important. It's a scroll where you can write whatever kind of scroll you want on it, and you don't have to have seen the scroll before or whatnot. You can just write whatever you want on it. Like if you want to make an air slash scroll, you can write that. It has a common use in the run. On the very final floor, you can write house scroll onto the blank scroll, and it'll just eliminate floor 30 and kill the boss at the end. By the way, the goal of this is reach floor 30 and somehow take care of the boss and rescue the golden condor. So you can see the floor that they're on in the upper left, 7F. So Karo's on the 7th floor, and Giga is in the Pekeji shop, which is after floor 4, in between floor 4 and 5. Also is going to steal by knockbacking the shopkeeper away from the door. And then you have to kind of test to see, oh, he's got a guard dog, so there's going to be several knockbacks here. He's going to get the guard dog stuck below some trees, and so that he can escape the town and just steal everything from the shop. Looks like by their levels, Karo did not do any shenanigans on floors 5 and 6 to get a ton of experience. But you can use the ghosts from these Kimen Mushas. There's a Kimen Musha on the right there, that green samurai. On Giga's side, will spawn a ghost when you kill it, and the ghost will wander around and try to upgrade whatever it runs into. There's various NPCs, like this little girl. You can throw a vision herb at her or whatnot. Looks like he threw a mammal meat at her and turned into a mammal. Not sure exactly why, but
Some mysterious strategies going on here.
mysterious new tech. Oh, he's got a cave mammal. Oh, this is very interesting. I
1,000
think
experience.
1,000. Yeah, he just got 1,000. You saw his level just jump up from like 5 to 12. So now, even though Giga is not as far in the dungeon, he's much higher level than Karo. He had some crazy Mammal strats going on there. That was pretty interesting. So he took Mammal meat, threw it at the little girl, turned it into a Mammal, and then used ghosts to upgrade that Mammal to level 3, and then killed the rank 3 Mammal, which is like Cave Mammal. And like the rank 3 enemies are worth a lot more. Here's a Debuta on the left side, with on Karo's side. It's a pun on Debu Buta, which is fat big. Basically, various enemies in Shiren have different abilities. Like, not every enemy has an ability. But like the Debuta can range throw a rock. These Pumpko Rapkins on the left, the Ghost Pumpkin, is he can fly through walls, and he has various behaviors, like he'll 50% move towards you or 50% move in a random direction. That Debuta just threw a rock from range.
Looks like Giga's setting up for another rank 3 here.
Interesting, yeah. So Giga is spending a lot more time being safer, while as Karu is gonna have much less health going into the end game. You have various pots that have different effects. Looks like Karu has a couple holding pots. That's just extra inventory space. So you have very limited inventory space, only 20 slots. But the holding pots will allow you to gain more. Like a 6-slot holding pot, will, instead of 20 slots, you'll now have 25. So you don't have to be so picky on what you keep. This little purple enemy on the left is a Gamaguchi. So they don't have an attack, but they'll walk up to you, take your money, and teleport away. And then end up somewhere else on the floor. This healer rabbit is pretty annoying. If you damage something but don't kill it, the healer rabbit will teleport in and heal that enemy. And you pretty much have to deal with the healer rabbit before you can kill the enemy, unless you can really out-damage it somehow. But Karo gonna throw some money at that rank 2 Kigni tribe. That's a thing you can do. You can store your money in the holding pots and then throw it at enemies later. Lag, did you catch what meat that was on the left side?
No, let's have a look.
On the right side with Giga, we have an Scroll in a big room. Sometimes you'll randomly just get a gigantic room, which is super dangerous, because the game considers it as one just big room, and like everything in the room can see you, and they'll just charge at you. But Giga had an Scroll, so Scroll just does damage, like 30 to 40 damage to everything in the room.
Looks like a Dark Owl meat.
Dark Owl meat, okay. That's interesting. Dark Owl meats acts as a light scroll, so it'll map the floor that you're on. This game is like super cool and complicated. I would also recommend this as like a introductory roguelike. Like, it's not so bad. Like when you first start out, you'll struggle, but like compared to some of the other ones like NetHack and ADOM and DCSS and all those, this one's pretty light and like not too hard to get into, I would say.
Getting into a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, Karo is pretty low on health, but uses a knockback staff on the Pumpko Repkin to do 5 damage. Basically, there's a whole set of items. Like, there's a bunch of staves. There's one staff that can knock something back. There's another staff that will swap your position with whatever you hit with it. There's a paralyzed staff that can paralyze the enemy so that it can't move anymore. There's a buy time staff that teleports the enemy to the stairs and paralyzes it as well. So that can combo with, say, a Farside Bracer. The Farside Bracer is a bracer you can wear to see where all the enemies on the floor are, as well as all the items, but not the stairs. There's one set of stairs per floor. Yeah, there is a fan translation sort of ROM hack you can get to play this in English if you want.
Some of the later games in the series are in English, like the PS Vita one.
Ooh, Kato is just cruising, but looks like Giga has caught up a few floors. There was a town there for Karo, but he skipped everything. Karo is now in the swamp area. It has a lot of status monsters, like this absorber larva that he just took care of. Attacks your strength. Various other ones, like this little purple Gedoro, attacks your the enchantments on your weapons and shields. So if I see one of those coming, I'll just unequip everything, and then it can't really do anything because it doesn't have a normal attack. Looks like Karo already through the swamp. Ooh, Karo is in a bit of a bind.
He's starting at a zoo. Very scary.
So immediately upon entering Table Mountain, which is floor 17, it's kind of like the halfway point, sort of. So let's hope that he has some sort of AoE scroll. It looks like he had a crisis, I'm guessing. Yeah, because everything around him is paralyzed. I'm guessing he had crisis, and now he's probably going to try to escape to the right.
Yeah. Looks like I'm gonna have to leave this room pretty soon, though, I think.
Yep. We've got a lot of dangerous enemies. There's a big power spike at floor 17. Minotaurs can crit and do tons of damage. Karo's shield is not very good. He's in a bit of trouble here. Okay, we got a big heal. Looks like he's hanging in there.
Using up a lot of resources there.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, it looks like he's stabilized. The benefit of the monster house is there is going to be a lot of like random items on the floor. And looks like what happened to Giga?
Just saved and loaded. Not sure why.
Oh. These chickens are called master chickens on the left, on Karo's side. They have like this health threshold, so if you damage the chicken under the health threshold, they'll turn into just a regular like weak chicken that will run around and do no damage. But while they're still master chicken, they hit pretty hard. Apologies if we missed stuff. This is not only is it very fast paced, but it's also in Japanese, which is not exactly the easiest to read if you're not fluent already. Giga has a pickaxe. You can use this to dig tunnels through the walls. I don't know if he has a plan for that, or if maybe it's cursed and he can't take it off. I'm not sure, but as a weapon, it has pretty low sword strength. The ways to do damage is you have a stat called strength. Then you have your weapon, whatever your weapon's base damage is, and then your level. So those are the three factors that determine like what kind of damage you do.
He did throw away a Dotanuki, so not sure what that beats.
Dotanuki is the it's kind of like the strongest common weapon you can get at 8 sword strength. There's some more fancier weapons, but they're more rare and usually found in shops or whatnot.
Looks like they got a cursed shield, but not a cursed weapon.
And Giga makes it to Table Mountain as well, while Karo is in the underground town, underground river town, which has six random items and oftentimes various types of meat and looks like a couple weapons and a pot as well. We didn't really talk about what meat does. Meat is something you eat and you become that monster and you gain their abilities. You can either eat it and become the monster, or you can throw the meat at the enemy and turn them into that monster. So if an enemy is too strong and you have like this floor 1 Mammal meat, just like a really weak enemy, you can throw the meat at the enemy and they'll become weak. Looks like Karo has turned into a Karakuroid by eating the Karakuroid meat. And the special ability of that is he can create random traps, and he's also immune to traps, and he can see all the traps on the floor.
Looks like a good call here. This floor is absolutely full of traps.
Yeah, there might have been a trap, which creates, you know, like a bunch of traps on the floor. Giga threw some money at a Norojo. Their special ability is cursing your gear, so that once it's cursed, you can't take it off unless you take care of it somehow, like either with a Purify Scroll or the trap that takes off all your equipment or whatnot. This could be way underestimate. Because they are going really fast. Fog Hermit on Karo's side. Special ability is this degen. He casts a degen on you and it counteracts your natural health regen. Oh dear, we've got another huge monster room on Karo's side. Let's hope he has an AoE scroll of some. Ooh, that looks like Karo's gonna fall, and Giga takes the lead.
That's all he needs. It's a tiny bit of bad luck and toast. I know you were saying this is one of the kind of easy roguelikes. You might want to qualify that a little bit.
Well, I'm comparing it to things like NetHack, which are just, to me, just crazy. I would say overall my win rate in this is fairly high compared to something like NetHack or something. My NetHack win rate is actual garbage. But yep, with permadeath, that will send Karo back to floor 1, level 1, and he'll have to start all over. And then the only hope now is that the same thing happens to Giga. 3 Karakuroids on Giga's side, and looks like a confused scroll was used. However, that just makes them move randomly. It doesn't actually protect him from taking damage. Like, if they still just randomly choose to bump into you, they'll still attack you. The Super Gaze on Giga's side is very dangerous to melee. And looks like he's gonna Slumber Scroll it. Slumber Scroll puts everything in the room to sleep for 20 turns, and then afterwards they get haste, so they get 2 actions per turn. But yeah, the Slumber Scroll versus 2 enemies is really easy. You can just kill them all. Hitting them while they're asleep does not wake them up, so they'll just wake up after 20 turns, no matter what.
I noticed he has 3 air slashes, so pretty stocked up.
That was a trap for Giga, which will, if it triggered, it should make a bunch of traps on the floor. And he is using that pickaxe to make these little tunnels to take shortcuts and whatnot. I didn't mention, but there is a food mechanic, as a lot of roguelikes have. Every 10 actions will make your belly go down by 1%. Unless you have various shields on, like the leather shield will make it 20 actions per 1%, and the heavy shield will make it 5 actions per 1%. But basically, the more time you take, your belly will deplete down to 0, and if your belly hits 0, then you'll start taking damage. Every action you take, you'll take like 1 damage per turn. Another confused scroll popped for Giga there's quite a few enemies in the room that he spawned in on. And Karu is back again, stealing at the Pikaji shop. It's a successful steal off and takes everything out of that shop that he wanted for free.
Giga has a P10 meat. What's that one do?
Piton is just a very fast enemy with no attack. It will drop a guaranteed rice ball, or if it's the rank 2, it'll drop a big rice ball. But it's very fast, so you could, in theory, eat it and just run away from everything, because you'll get two moves per turn instead of one. Giga is approaching the late game. It's starting to get a bit dangerous, and they're kind of, going faster than you would normally go, which could affect the safety. But yeah, every floor has a stairway, and you have to take the stairway to get to the next floor. And again, the goal of Shiren on SNES is to reach floor 30 and then somehow take care of the boss, which is the Mushoku bug. And behind the Mushoku bug is the Golden Condor, and you have to rescue the Golden Condor and restore all the wishes to the world, and everybody gets to make a wish.
I'm not taking any chances of that. Just pushing them back and shooting them.
There's a early rank 2 skeleton mage on Karo's side, decides to just drag in a bit to get rid of it. The skeleton mages are about the most dangerous things. Speaking of which, here on floor 26 for Giga, you can get the rank 3 skeleton archmage, which has a variety of super dangerous spells, and there's one of them. Couldn't tell exactly what that spell was, but this is super dangerous. Like, letting them hit you at all is incredibly dangerous. They have mute, they have sleep. You really just have to not ever let them cast on you. But it looks like, luckily, that didn't end the run for Giga. All it takes is a single cast, and you can just lose the run from the higher level archmages. Yeah, this game has 4 dungeons. They're playing the kind of like the main story dungeon, which is Table Mountain. But there's also, you do a couple quest lines and you can unlock the trap. There's a trap dungeon, there's a food dungeon. Those are both kind of smaller. And then once you beat all of those, you get the 99 floor dungeon, which is extremely hard. And floor 28 for Giga, we've got 2 dragon heads and a plain old dragon. And he's
Not
just
a very nice introduction.
he uses the buy time staff on all 3 of them, sending them to the current floor's staircase and paralyzing them. Yeah, you can kind of tell what their gear is just by looking at the sprite. Giga has a pickaxe and a Toto shield. Toto shield prevents your items from being stolen by the enemies called Totos, which are like these walrus enemies. Looks like Karo has some sort of iron shield and a katana, maybe?
Yeah, katana. Oh, another air slash used. And another.
Giga is really close. Do you see if Giga has a blank scroll? I think he does.
Yep. Just wrote it into a light scroll, I think.
Oh, he used the blank scroll as a light scroll. That's interesting. I wonder how he plans on taking out the floor 30, because you have to leave enough items to take care of the final floor. One option is just blank scroll and write down the word house, and it just deletes all the enemies on floor 30, and then you just win. But if he doesn't have 2 blank scrolls, I wonder how he's planning on handling floor 30 here. I did not see a second blank scroll, so... basically, the final boss is immune to nothing, so you can use whatever you want on it. That includes throwing meat at it. You could confuse the room with a confuse scroll, and then like throw meat at the boss and kill whatever little monster the boss turns into, and then you win like that. There's a bunch of different ways. Giga had a blank scroll, but used it to write down lights on floor 29. Looks like Slumber Scroll. Oh dear. Gets a nice lucky trap to...
Yeah, turns it into a P10.
Oh wow, that's really smart. So that all happened really fast, but that's GG for Giga. But what happened there on floor 30 was he triggered, I don't know, that must have been an accident, like the log trap that knocked him into the Mushoku box. And then from there he threw Piton meat at the boss, turned it into a Piton, and then I think he just used a knockback scroll to kill the Piton, which clears the room and opens the door to the Golden Condor. So GG to Giga. $26.51. That just goes to show like how advanced like Japan is compared to the US, because this is like insanely fast to me. But they've been playing this for way longer than I think in the US. This game came out in 1995, and I'm not sure when the translation came out. By Chunsoft. There are no US times. There really aren't that many. Like, aside from myself and like Zozokin, I mean, not too many people play this. And I don't even really speedrun this, I just mostly play it for fun. Only estimate was an hour, so maybe they can. I don't know. Well, Karo has a way to go. Karo currently in the Noburi mines. Unfortunately, Karo ran into a monster house earlier and died, so he had to start over back at floor 1. And now Karo entering the swamp. This place is a place you just want to get out of ASAP, because all the enemies are just annoying, and they attack your status more than your health for the most part. Like, they'll attack your strength stat, they'll attack the enchantment on your weapons. One of them throws confuse herbs. This daikon, this dizzy daikon will just throw a confuse herb at you, and you'll get the confused status. And Karo entering Table Mountain. So at the start of the game, there's downstairs all the way down to floor 17. Floor 17 is kind of like the bottom, and then you start climbing Table Mountain all the way up to floor 30. So this is important kind of only in one way, in the fact that there's a trap called a pit trap. If you fall in the pit trap, you'll fall down a floor. And before Table Mountain, if you fall in a pit trap, you'll advance, you'll advance to the next floor. But here, like on floor 18, if he falls into a pit trap, he'll go back a floor. So he'll go back to floor 17. That's the little difference there. Running into another Master Chicken. Which when you take them down to low health, they turn into just a normal chicken that isn't very strong. It just runs around and doesn't do anything. It's just free experience. You actually get more experience if you kill the master chicken without it turning into a regular chicken. The regular chickens were 200 and the master chickens are 400. I think that was an unlucky staff.
Yeah, been lots of uses of that.
Unlucky staff decreases their level by 1. And interesting light scroll usage there. I'm not sure what exactly the strat is behind that. This is really early to use a light scroll for me personally. Like, I just want to use them, you know, on the last floors, like on 29, 28, 27. But to use it on 19 is pretty interesting. The light scroll maps the floor. Looks like a paralyze on the master chicken, and swapping across the river there with a swap staff.
Does this have the kind of puzzle mode that a lot of the other ones do?
Yeah, there's in the opening town, there's a phase puzzles. You can only do one at a time, but like after you lose a run, then you can come back and do the next one, and there's 50 of them. It kind of teaches you like basic mechanics of the game.
Another light scroll used there.
Wow, Karo must be really rich to be using these light scrolls this early. Alright, Lag, this is where you come in. This is way too fast for me.
Well, it just
what
sold a couple of staffs, I think.
What was in that shop, Lag? Yeah, you can steal from the shops, which they both did in the Bamboo Village, which is after floor 4. This underground river town is a lot harder to steal from. It's just a lot more dangerous because after you leave the shop, guard dogs and guards will appear in the town. So if you're not really prepared for it, they're not going to let you leave the town.
Looks like Giga's gonna play again.
Oh, okay.
Oh, now those enemies you have to watch out for. The bell guys?
Ah, yeah. The guys with the bell are summoners. So once they're in your melee, they can just summon pretty much anything. It has rules to it. Like a rank 2 will be able to summon rank 2s, etc.
Ah, I just saw a blank scroll in the list.
It looks like Kato just he used to buy time to send the summoner to the stairs and paralyze it, and then used the swap staff to swap positions with it so that he could take the stairs. I think they're called Mem Bells. We have a rank 2 Pumpko Repkin.
Getting a lot of buy time staffs.
Yeah, it's always really nice. That combos really well with, wow, he used 5 of them on this floor. You can see all of the paralyzed enemies just huddled around the stairs. The buy time staff combos well with a Farsight Bracer because When you know the location of all the enemies on the floor from the far side bracer, and you send an enemy to the stairs, then all of a sudden you know exactly where the stairs are. And in these later floors, it's not good to just dilly-dally around, and you just want to kind of rush the stairs and get out of here as quickly as possible.
That was an ID scroll, but I'm not sure there's much left to ID. Well, there's a crisis use. Very scary room to start in.
Yeah, these death enemies are, first of all, they're all over the place. Second of all, they're fast, and they get 2 actions per turn. So once they're on you, they can attack twice, or they can move 1 and attack you. They're gonna. You can't really run away from them. And if they catch you in a hallway and they end up inside of the wall, then you can't really do anything to them back. They can just hit you for free. Looks like some more good usage of a swap staff to just swap to the stairs. And looks like Karo also has a decoy staff. Oh wow, this is some advanced tech right here. He ate a rank 3 piton meat and just started teleporting around the around the floor looking for the stairs. That's really good. Another buy time goes on to that death and that dragon. Karo must just have a ton of buy time staffs.
Only one left though. I don't know how many charges it has, so that's a little dangerous.
It also has a decoy staff that creates like a doppelganger of Shiren that just kind of wanders around, and then every enemy on the floor will go after the decoy. So it's really powerful because you can just leave the decoy somewhere and then just safely walk around. Another swap gets Karo to the stairs, and that'll take Karo to the little scene before the final floor. Final floor is always going to have the boss, the Mushoku bug, as well as Madremlas, and the skeleton archmages are the most common enemies.
Well, this is going to be pretty free because he has a blank scroll. And here it is. House. And that's the end.
There we go, GG to Karo. Basically what happened there is he wrote down house scroll onto the blank scroll. On the blank scroll you can just write whatever you want. Usually the house scroll will create a monster house, which is a room with a bunch of monsters in it, and usually it creates a bunch of random items on the floor as well. But for some reason on floor 30 when you use it, it deletes all the enemies in the room, but then doesn't create the new monster room, so it just deletes everything. And then you win. Yeah, that was Shiren the Wanderer. It's a bit confusing because this is Mystery Dungeon 2, but it's Shiren 1 because there was that other Mystery Dungeon, Fushigi no Dungeon 1, that had Taloon from Dragon Quest IV. That wasn't technically Shiren, so it uses all the same engine and whatnot, and kind of plays the same, but yeah, this is Mystery Dungeon 2, Shiren 1 on the Super Famicom. Came out in 1995 by Chunsoft.
Another few of the series that are very easy to get into in English are the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. They also, obviously, they use some Pokemon mechanics as well as the Mystery Dungeon ones, but they're quite approachable too.
Yeah, for sure. And you don't, these guys are all playing on a new file. Like I play like that too, but like once you have a lot of knowledge of the game, you can just play a new file. But you don't have to play like that. There's a bit lighter way to play. There's a warehouse. You can store items for future runs in your warehouse. You can craft gear to make it easier. There's things to make it easier if you want it to be easier. Is a roguelike. It is, you know, the floors are procedurally generated. It's got all the big roguelike factors. It's turn-based, tile-based, permadeath. You get some resource management. There's only 20 inventory slots that you have to choose what you bring with you. In many cases. Yeah, this game is super good, and yeah, it has a fan translation as well for English. Can you spot the mimic in this shop?
Okay then, I guess we should wrap up here. Although Giga's second run seems to be going pretty strong, but I guess we're not exactly here for that.
Alright, sounds good. Yep, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for helping out, Lag, and GG's to Giga-san and Karo-san. It was an interesting race to watch. I don't get to see a Shiren race too often. I want to see more.
Yeah, those are some insane runs, to be honest. Even 39 minutes is really, really good. This game is not kind to people who tried to speedrun it.
Yeah, for sure.